Imagine giving away your last meal to a stranger in need, with no thought of what you'll eat next. Would you have the strength to do it? In today's story, a humble slave does the unthinkable, sacrificing everything for a starving dog. But what happens next will leave you in awe of his incredible selflessness. Stay tuned to see how one simple act of kindness changed his life forever. One day, Hazrat Abdullah bin Jafar was journeying through a forest. As he walked, he passed by a simple garden where a humble slave was quietly working, attending to the plants. It was a serene day, yet something extraordinary was about to unfold. The slave's bread for the day had just been brought to him, 3 simple loaves. But at that same moment, a stray dog wandered into the garden, clearly hungry and worn from its travels. Without hesitation, the slave placed one of his loaves in front of the dog. The dog eagerly devoured the bread, but the dog was still hungry. The slave, with no sign of reluctance, gave the second and then the third loaves to the dog, leaving nothing for himself. Hazrat Abdullah bin Jafar watched in awe. This was not just an act of charity, it was a sacrifice. Curious and deeply moved, Hazrat Abdullah approached the slave and asked, "How many loaves of bread do you receive daily?" Slave, "Just 3, sir. You've seen them, that's all I get." Hazrat Abdullah, still astonished, asked, "Then why did you give all 3 to the dog?" Slave said, "This poor dog must have come from far away. Dogs don't live in this forest. It was hungry, and I could not bear to send it away with nothing." Deeply moved by the slave's selflessness, Hazrat Abdullah thought to himself, "Compared to this humble man's sacrifice, my own generosity is nothing." Determined to reward this act of kindness, Hazrat Abdullah traveled to the city. He bought the garden and the slave from the garden's owner and returned to slave to share the good news. Hazrat Abdullah approached the slave and said, "I have freed you from your work, and I have also given you this garden as a gift." Slave humbly said, "I thank you immensely, but as a token of my gratitude, I offer this garden back to you. You see, you now hold me in such high regard that your kindness feels like an overwhelming honor. It is enough for me. I leave now with no more need." In that moment, Hazrat Abdullah realized that true generosity does not always come from those with wealth or power. It often comes from those who have little but are willing to give everything they have. The slave's selflessness had humbled him, and he would never forget the lesson learned that day. Moral of the story: true generosity comes not from what we give, but from the heart behind the giving. Sometimes the humblest of people carry the most extraordinary of spirits. This story reminds us that every person has a special gift and purpose, and it's not about how much we have, but how much we're willing to share. Thank you for watching this touching story of selflessness and generosity. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales like this one.